I started up owie Blink, I was thinking, why do I know this title? I mean, besides the fact that it was on my list of PC Engine games. I knew there was something significant about it, I just couldn't remember what. Notorious game? Hidden gem? Well, actually, it was something else entirely. You see, owie Blink is based on a children's animated show. A cute thing about a kid who has a magic blue space pony named Blink. And it's the show that's remembered, not the game, because the show was what Osamu Tezuka was working on when he died. Tezuka is one of the most important figures in Japanese pop culture. Japanese comics and animation wouldn't exist in their current form without him. And owie Blink is his final creation. And this is the game based on it. Creation of the game was handed off to Westone, best known as the developers of Wonder Boy. And this is their first non-Wonder Boy platforming game. The plot of the game is that Cockle's father has been abducted by Emperor Gross. So Cockle sets out on a long journey across the world in order to save his father. This mostly follows the plot of the original cartoon, though all of the main group of friends have already joined together at the start of the game. Every world of the game basically stands in for one of the major plot arcs. owie Blink is a platformer, and so Button 1 jumps and Button 2 shoots. You control 3 characters at the same time, though fortunately you only have to worry about the lead one. The other 2 will always step exactly where they do, and they don't take damage from enemies. You rotate through which character you're controlling by pressing the select button. There are 5 members of the group, and Cockle is always one of them. The other 2 are determined by what stage you're on. There's a pretty significant difference in the behaviors for each character, so it's important to know how to use them effectively. Starting with Cockle, his attack is a little shuriken, and it flies straight ahead. It's the weakest of all of the attacks, and it can be pretty tough to time shots while you're jumping. On the other hand, Cockle has a very good jump. There aren't many obstacles that he can't get through by jumping. Tanba is the driver of the bus, and he's the normal-looking tall guy. His attack fires in an arc, and it's the most powerful of all of the attacks. On the other hand, his jump is incredibly weak, and there will be things that he can't get over. The taller of the 2 bandits is Michi, and his weapon is a boomerang shot. Very easy to use, very straightforward. However, his jumping ability is on the same level as Tanba's, so you'll have to switch away if you want to do any platforming. The smaller of the 2 thieves is Sachi. His shot starts out going straight, but then splits apart. It's a bit weaker than the other 2 adult characters, but it has good coverage. His jump is also weak, but in his case, it actually works well with his short size, because it means he can jump through dangerous gaps that no other character can fit through. Finally, there's Princess Kirara, and she can't attack at all. I mean, don't be silly, a girl attacking monsters? The very thought is absurd. She is the counterpoint to the attacking characters, since she can jump super high. Of course, being able to jump high doesn't help a whole lot when she's completely defenseless. Because of the huge variance in jumping abilities between characters, what you'll wind up doing is swapping to someone who can attack well, fighting a little ways, then swapping to the jumper, doing that one hop you need, then swapping back to someone who can fight. It winds up slowing the game down a lot while not adding anything. On top of that, I found that changing characters was often unresponsive. Some of that might have been due to using a 40-year-old controller, but it was still frustrating. Stages in owie Blink are laid out in a small map, and they often have multiple exits. That's why you can see the roads going everywhere. Which road opens up depends on which exit you take. There isn't a visual indicator for what roads are open, and the only way to tell which path you can now go down after you finish a stage is by which way the bus is facing. There are 3 ways that you typically end a stage. First, you reach the end and walk off the right-hand side. This is actually one of the rarer options. The most common way is that you find a door and go through it. And it's also possible to exit stages by jumping off the top of the screen. So if you're trying to find the exits, then those are the things to watch out for. Sometimes on stages you'll find invisible pots, and after you make them appear you'll have to shoot them a few times to break them open. They'll contain an item to collect, and will often contain something rare. After you've collected the pot once, it's gone forever. You're able to re-enter all of the stages, but any pot or treasure chest that you've collected are gone for good. Fortunately, enemies can also drop just about everything, so you really can't get stuck. The most common item to find is money, and after you collect 100 coins, then your life bar grows by 1 heart. You can recover health by collecting the little heart items. The potion with the heart on it both heals you and acts as an antidote to poison. And then there's the extra life orbs. If you run out of health, then one of these is automatically spent to restore 3 hearts. But you can also pause the game and press button 1, and that spends one of the extra life orbs to restore all of your health. The one exception to this automatic health restoration is getting crushed by terrain, and that results in an instant game over. You start out with 3 of those extra life orbs and 3 continues. Moving on with the collectible items, the wing will let you move faster, which is actually a disadvantage in some of the trickier platforming. The bomb destroys all enemies on the screen, and the star makes you invincible for a short period. As I mentioned, there is poison, and it comes in 2 varieties. One that just damages you instantly, and the other is persistent, slowly draining away your health. And then there are the keys. Blue keys are used to open treasure chests. You walk on top of a treasure chest, and you automatically spend one. The important key is the heart key. There's one hidden on every world, and you have to find it in order to complete the area. If you found it, and then get to the end of the final stage, you can pass through the locked door there to confront the boss. The bosses change things up as Falco rides on Blink. You can no longer switch characters around, and Blink can fire long-range shots at the boss. When you defeat the boss, a whole pile of stuff will drop from the sky, and you'll have time to collect all of it before you move on. After you do that, you advance to the next area, and repeat the process. There's no way to save your progress here, so you have to beat all 5 regions in one sitting, and that can be pretty time-consuming. Japanese players don't seem to be especially enamored with owie Blink. The show was not well regarded, so it doesn't even have those fans that say, well, at least it was exactly like the TV show. My own feelings are pretty mixed. I appreciate that it's an ambitious platforming game, but so much of it feels off. And these are things that don't show up in videos. The characters move very stiffly, and when you bump into a ledge they attempt to automatically jump up to it, but that doesn't really work properly. And since every character has their own jump height, it just makes things feel even more inconsistent. Forcing players to find one invisible item on every world is not a fun task. These days you'll just look it up and get on with your life. It must have been really annoying for players in 1990. owie Blink is a game that has some fun ideas in it, and a lot of terrible implementation. It makes the whole thing more frustrating than fun.